Hello and welcome to One Take. I'm Dale Kurschner. Today I'm talking with Gary Braun, co-founder, co-owner, and CEO of Pivotal Advisors, which helps small to mid-sized businesses increase sales performance. Gary and his brother Mike started the company in 2008. Gary, welcome to One Take.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, your brother, briefly, and what led you to start your own consulting firm?
Yeah, thanks for asking. We're both lifelong sales guys. We both started carrying a bag, being individual reps. At one point, both of us got to the point where we got promoted to being a sales leader, which is a way different job, by the way, different skill set, different everything needed for that. And then we both got in completely different paths, but we both got into companies that were very hyper growth companies. The company I was with had gone from $1 million to $400 million in 11 years, big thing. My brother's company had gone from $75 million to $1 billion. And what we learned was to get to each next level of growth, you need to do different things. And we both learned it independently. I actually learned a lot from him. And when we decided to start a company in 2008, which is just an awesome time to start a company, we said, what can we bring to the market? And it was really about how do you make those fundamental changes within your sales organization to allow it to scale or get to that next level of growth. So we're applying a lot of the things that we learned through our own trial and error as we were, progressing in our career.
Yep. And, when you think about that, two things that you just mentioned. One is transitioning from a sales leader to a manager is something in and of itself. How did you both deal with that transition?
To be really honest, I wasn't very good the first time. First time out, I was doing really well at a manufacturer in Eden Prairie. We did high-end desktop publishing equipment. And when they made me manager, I thought my job was just to help everybody close their deals. That was fun. They teed them up. I went and helped knock them down. That was a really fun job. And I see a lot of sales leaders in that mode right now. But it turns out you have to put a strategy together, have a plan. You got to hire people. You got to put together comp plans. You got to coach. You got to do a bunch of stuff that you're not prepared for. So my first time out, I wasn't very good. And when I had my next opportunity to do that, it was interesting. Thursday Night Golf League was my brother Mike coaching me on the things to do. And it was really interesting because I didn't want to take his advice at first because, he's my brother and everything. But I would apply some of the things he was telling me, and I felt like I was getting more control on my life. And people were getting better direction, and they were improving their own development and whatnot. So my help came from Mike, and again, that was kind of an impetus for our company. But as I kept applying these things, my team kept getting better. So that's where I got my help.
And then you mentioned, you launched during the last recession, the Great Recession, as we called it at that point.
Yep.
How did you two succeed starting a business like this during the Great Recession?
Well, if you think about it, in 2008-9, we started right at the end of 2008. There was one thing that was really on people's mind, and that was, how do I get and retain and grow sales? So although it was a bad time overall economically, it wasn't a bad time for us because we could take our expertise on how to apply good discovery, how to make sure we're chasing the right clients, how to differentiate, how to retain our clients. Those are principles that everybody was really looking for at the time. So out of the gate, it was Mike and I, and we had one employee, Corky, who's still with us today, 12 years later. It was pretty skinny for a while when, we're starting a brand new company. We got an employee with benefits and everything, but we were able to quickly get some traction just because there was a need for our services at that time.
And Gary, both back then also today, for, let's say there are companies that are starting up today or just kind of struggling, how did you rise above the noise back then? And how can people rise above the noise today when it comes to getting hired by companies that need your kind of help?
Yeah, so a couple different things. I'll talk about us first. The noise out there for us was a lot of CEOs had sent their people to sales training. They had hired and fired a lot of people thinking, I just need to get the right people in here. They had messed with their comp plan and whatnot. And when we came in, we came in with a proven system. Well, it was proven in our experience. It hadn't been proven in our small market yet. But when we came in, it's not just hiring a smart guy to come in and, hey, he's got good experience or she's got good experience. We came in with, we got to look at your strategy. We got to make sure you're targeting the right clients. We got to make sure you're differentiated. We got to make sure that you're hiring well. You're hiring the right kind of people and you're onboarding them well. We have to make sure you have a repeatable sales process. We have to make sure you're measuring the right things, on and on and on. But we came in with a proven system, and that system itself, when people looked at it, went, I'm good, I'm not so good. Boy, I really need help. And they were able to identify the areas that they really needed to work on. And it wasn't just hire some guy off the street, and they were smart, so maybe they can help us, which is kind of, crossing your fingers. With companies struggling today, I would say a few of the things that they need to focus on is, are you chasing the right clients? So often, you set a strategy, you know who you want to go after, but that the salespeople will chase anybody who can fog a mirror. And we got to make sure that we're going after the ones that are giving us the best chance to win. We got to make sure that we have a process that works. So it's, if you look at the top salespeople in any organization and you look at the bottom people, they're not doing the same things. The way they get in the door is different. The questions they ask is different. The commitments they get is different. If you can standardize on that and get everybody doing the same things that are proven to be successful, that helps you get above. And then the third one I mentioned a couple of times already is differentiation. You got to know what to hang your hat on. And if you sound exactly the same as all your competitors, they're going with the cheapest option. So you have to be able to differentiate and really know how to hold your value. If you focus just on those things alone, you're going to make a big difference.
You talk about the differentiation and also a differentiation with regards to the quality of your salespeople. And you mentioned that, the top salespeople, how are they doing different things? How are they getting in the door? How would you, I think when it comes to trying just to get in the door, what would a top salesperson's strategy be today to just even cold calling to get inside that door?
Well, I'll tell you what, today's world, yes, the economy is down and things have gone south in a lot of different ways. But with all this change comes a lot of opportunity. And I see the best salespeople taking advantage of the change. And what I really mean is any customer or prospect that's out there right now, their whole world has been turned upside down in the last few months. Things that were on their strategic plan or what were their priorities are out the window, and we got new ones. And with all that change is an opportunity for you to help them understand what are other companies doing. How can you help them take advantage of the things that are going on in the market? We've got one client who was they make food. They make food that goes on shelves and food that goes in restaurants. And a good chunk of their revenue came from restaurants, fast food restaurants and those types of places, food services at colleges and whatnot. Well, guess what happened to that market when COVID hit? I mean, they were all shut down completely and all that revenue just dried up, and that was the bulk of their business. So the good salespeople there said, let's go to groceries and see what's going on with them. And with the grocers, their whole world had changed in the fact that I have all these people coming at me trying to get their products on the shelves. Now it's gone upside down to where I don't have enough product to put out there. So they took advantage of that. And they went there and they said, we noticed we go into your store and you don't have our type of product on the shelf. We're local. Here's what our inventory is. Here's our just in time. We can get this, we can get that. And boom, like that, they're in 60 stores. That's a good salesperson understanding that needs have changed. And I'm going to take advantage of those changing needs and help my potential prospects and customers at the same time.
We're going to be running out of time here pretty quickly. So I just want to ask a couple more questions. One is, how has your organization and how have you and your brother as leaders been affected by COVID-19, and how have you dealt with it?
Well, the first thing that gets cut when everybody's looking at their budget is consultants. So we took a whack pretty quickly. We did a lot of proactive, some pro bono work, some reduced rate work, whatever we can to help customers get over the hump, help them retain the clients that they had and start getting new ones. We even came up with a new offering for people dealing with a sales crisis. So we made some adjustments there, and by helping a lot of these people, some of them clients, some of them weren't. We did a lot of just free advice type of things. We helped them get over the hump, and that's actually helped us get more clients and retain the clients that we had.
And then if I'm an employer right now, a business, and I'm looking to hire somebody to do some fractional sales or to lead fractional sales, what's the one trait that I should look for in that person?
Have a system and have a plan. It's just, if you look at any fractional sale, and there's a ton of people who are out of work right now who have suddenly become fractional sales managers. You look at their background and it may or may not match up with what you need. I want somebody with a lot of diversity in their background. We differentiate ourselves that when you hire a fractional sales manager here, it's not just the person. You're getting a whole team of people, somebody who's good at strategy, somebody's good at process, somebody's good at planning. But have somebody who has a system and a plan, and it's not just somebody who has experience that you hope is going to be good. I want to see what their system is. I want to see how they even go about putting together what they're going to do with your team.
Yep. Okay, last question. What question should I have asked you that I didn't ask?
I get asked a lot, what's the biggest missing component that a lot of sales organizations have that's hurting them? And I come back to what I'll call simple performance management. A lot of people put comp plans in place to help drive the right behaviors. And I agree with that to a point. I think comp gives you direction, but people manage people. If I sat down, Dale, if you were on my team and I sat down every week with you and said, Dale, you're supposed to have 5 new opportunities this week. How are we doing? And you get 5 and I go, way to go, rock on, keep going. Or you come back and you tell me and I go, this is the 3rd week in a row that we've not hit our goal. Dale, what do we need to do differently? And we have that conversation. That makes a world of difference, but I don't see that happen. Usually when I see the sales leader and the salesperson get together, it's a pipeline review every week. So just that conversation alone makes a world of difference in driving the right behaviors and holding people accountable.
Well, great. Gary, a lot of really good pointers today. Thank you for joining us and sharing all those.
Thank you for having me.
I also want to thank our sponsor, the Platinum Group, which for 40 years has helped companies during turbulent times such as these. If your company can use some advice or just a second opinion, you can learn more about the Platinum Group at theplatinumgrp.com or by calling 952-829-5700. Thank you to all of you for tuning in today. We'll see you next time on One Take.